Ever notice therapists leaving group practices faster than clients cancel on Mondays? In this episode, Jennifer Marie Fairchild and I dig into the real reason people are walking away and what practice owners can do to stop the revolving door. Hey, I'm Dr. Kate Walker. Welcome to another episode. Yes, I'm wearing the same shirt because we're recording two episodes back to back. And this one is about why people are leaving group practices. It's a thing. We monitor the internet everywhere. No, not everywhere, but we're seeing this a lot. We're seeing from one end, group practice owners are having folks leave and they can't hire anybody else on. There's, everybody's going to, this is them talking, not me. They're going to Headway, they're going to Alma, they're going to whatever all the things are. But then we also hear the other side of folks saying, hey, look, this is why I'm leaving group practices. In fact, I looked at a thread a couple of weeks ago and it was very, very, very well written. This is exactly why I left my group practice. I've seen group practices fail, and it's just, we have a shortage in this country. And the whole mission behind Kate Walker Training is we want to keep you in business. You're too important to lose to something like you didn't know how to do business and all your employees left you. So that's what we're focusing on today. We'll hit supervision a little bit, but we just finished 3 episodes about toxic supervision, supervisors in dual role of boss and supervisor, and then associates, how to speak up to your supervisor. But we may still hit a little bit on, if you're a supervisor and you own a group practice and your associates are leaving you. So Jennifer, I'm going to start with you. What are the things out there that we're seeing about why people are leaving group practices?
One of the biggest ones I see is the fee splitting. What does your pay look like? I saw a post the other day and they were offering associates jobs and they were going to pay $30 a session in a group practice. And it was just, should I take this job? And just, no, that's, when are we going to speak up? But the biggest one is these splits, these 50-50, 60-40, 70-30. And what is that money going to? Where's the transparency? Okay, you took 40% of my session rate. Okay. But I had 50 sessions. And if it was $40, let's say we had 100, now we're in the thousands. What did that thousands of dollars go to that month? But
yeah, and business owners, you may own the building and you may be leasing the building and you're on the hook for lease money and the overhead, to run that business. Well, have a meeting with your staff and explain, okay, our air conditioner broke last month, or we got to get a new copy machine. But again, how much of that are you passing along to your employees or 1099 contractors? We're going to kind of use those terms interchangeably today. And how much is it changing? So are you doing 40% this month and then next month you're saying, hey, the air conditioner broke, I got to take 50%. Your contract, your policy and procedures should rule when it comes to payment. But that's not all. Jennifer, you want to hit the whole, more about insurance than I do. I mean, how can like a clawback affect employees?
well, clawbacks are fun. Insurance companies want to say, yes, do your therapy. But you didn't say some magical key phrase in your notes, so therefore we don't have to pay for that. And so a lot of people are running into this clawback scenario. And I've heard some instances where group practice owners are passing those clawbacks on to their clinicians and making the clinicians, repay that money. Somebody's got to repay the money. You've got to decide whose responsibility is that.
And if that employee is a 1099 contractor, I mean, can a business even do that? Can they pass along a liability like that? I mean, I'm no attorney, we're not attorneys, but I'm thinking, okay, if I'm trying to think of a situation where if I hire someone to come and paint my house, and they're in the middle of a job and I say, oh, I've got to pay you less because a tree fell on my car and I don't have any. I mean, the painter would say, hey, no, this is what we agreed to. This is my price. I'm an independent contractor. So it's definitely, I'm going to go back to the transparency in a second, but the clawback is a huge issue. And if you're listening to this and you're an employee in a group practice, I would definitely go look at your contract and say, okay, how will clawbacks be handled? You may have agreed to something you wish you hadn't agreed to. But let's get down to the minutia of insurance. So pay can change, right? I mean, Jennifer, if a payment, or does it stay the same? Like if an insurance company contracts with me to provide services at $80 an hour, does it stay $80 an hour?
From what I understand, yeah, it doesn't
Okay.
change. But in clawbacks, it reminds me like if I buy $400 worth of merchandise at Target and all of it breaks, and I take that $400 worth of merchandise back to Target and say this is broken, I can't use it, and they give me a refund, they don't go to all their cashiers and say, hey, I'm going to need you to give me this money back because they brought in a refund and we can't cover that. So it's coming out of your pay next week. All of you going to spread it out equally. It's kind of, it's, is that not part of being a business owner, taking on
That
those liabilities?
I like that example so much better. And that's true. I mean, any business is going to have some sort of equity, some sort of fund so that they're able to do the things they need to do to stay in business. So if you're getting a paycheck, so I'm talking to you, employee in a group practice, can you look at your pay stub and see, okay, these are the 5 services I delivered on Monday. Okay, I had one no show. So I got paid for these 4. And this was this insurance, that insurance, this insurance. So, Jennifer, if every insurance pays at a rate that's decided upon, I should be able to look at my pay stub and see every service I delivered, how much paid, and then my split, right?
I
You know,
that's what I would encourage to use as best practices. I know that doesn't always happen, and I've even heard instances where a lot of group practices will withhold a clinician's pay until insurance pays out. And they'll say, hey, insurance hasn't paid out on the first 10 sessions from the month. We'll pay them when we get them, and if that's what you're doing as a practice owner, you're waiting on that insurance reimbursement to even pay your employee. I don't know that you're going to retain that employee because they're coming to you looking for consistent pay. And if every month I'm like, oh, I made $5,000. Oh, insurance was behind, so I made $1,000. Nobody can live like that. That's not sustainable.
and let's be fair, okay, especially small communities, new business owners. I mean, if you're hiring everybody in your practice as a 1099, conceivably you could do that, right? I'm only going to pay you when I get paid. And you could have it in your contract. Okay, I get that, and I'm totally on board with that. But in a situation where you haven't informed the people that you're hiring that you're not going to pay them till you get paid, or they're used to a regular paycheck, but then, oh my gosh, we had something happen a couple of years ago where I know insurance, something blew up and people were getting paid and they couldn't pay their employees. And so I'm not saying this is good or bad because business owners, you can only do what you can do. And especially if you take insurance, I mean, you're kind of handcuffed. But the topic of this episode is why people are leaving group practices. And I'm always going to compare this to if you're a physician working in a big practice. A physician is going to get paid. And the volume and the amount of money that will be in the kitty, for a lack of a better term, is going to be what helps that physician continue to make what they're going to get paid. They're going to make. So I know that didn't make sense, but if there's a clawback, you can bet that physician is not going to feel that. The business is going to absorb that from the funds, from the capital that they have set aside to handle rainy days, right? You've heard of a rainy day fund. Well, that's what that is. And so many times business owners, they don't set aside a rainy day fund, or, and this is real, your rainy day fund runs out. And we're coming from Texas. Texas is number 50. I get it. Nobody's getting paid. And so this goes back to another episode where I talked about this. Business owners, don't add practitioners until you just can't handle the volume anymore. I have people who will say, well, there's this great LPC and I want to hire them. I told them I could get them the clients. And so I've promised them that we're going to do the marketing and we're going to get, and I'm thinking to myself, why are you hiring somebody if you can't get them clients?
Yeah.
Like there should be a waiting list. Okay. Jennifer, you were going to talk about that. So
No,
yeah.
you're good. No, that's a huge one. I'll give a great example. There was a company that was expanding an IOP. They're expanding to new states. They're taking on new contracts. Well, they expanded to 3 new states. Went through, hey, we're going to get contracts. They hired 2 1099 therapists in each of these states, right? Because we're going to take on these clients. And then 3 months went by, and one therapist had 2 clients, and I think the rest of them might have had 1. Well, the therapist ended up ghosting the practice. They just, because it wasn't feasible for them. They were guaranteed we're going to market, and then no marketing was done. And they guaranteed we're going to fill your caseload, and no caseload was filled. And how long can you expect somebody to hang around waiting for you to fulfill promises? I mean, it's not a marriage. We all know in marriage people do that all the time. This isn't a marriage, and I can go down the street or I can hang a shingle out in my own door. So if you cannot make promises and then not deliver and then scratch your head and wonder why these people left, you have to have a clear, transparent plan in place going into it. Not just, I'm going to fill it. How? Tell them how you're going to fill it. Marketing's a full-time job, isn't it?
Oh. So if you're a business owner, I mean, I want you to think in terms of Shark Tank, right? If you've got a startup and you're like, okay, I want my startup fully staffed. All right, well, get an angel investor and pay everybody while they're waiting for their client load to pop, right? And I hope right now you went angel investor. What's that? Right? That just doesn't happen in the counseling world. Or please don't do that. Don't get a loan to do that. The flip is start your business, and as it grows, because it will, because you're awesome and the world needs you and your community is going to grow to rely on you. As it grows, then hire people to plug in the hours and your wait list of clients because you're doing such an amazing job. We just see so many people. They want a full staff, a beautiful web page with all the people and all the specialties first. And I know for me, Jennifer's not kidding. Marketing is a full-time job. I am on every day just trying to stay ahead of trends. Don't even get me started on AI and SEO. You guys know, you can go back and listen to the episode. So you're a business owner and you're probably trying to see clients too. So just remember what you promise. If you can't fulfill that, nobody's going to stick around, and feelings get hurt. I mean, this is when a lot of complaints happen. Um, the money thing, so what have we talked about? We've talked about transparency with money, and then transparency with what you promise. And all of that can go into a contract. But business owners, if you get in a bind, if you turn to your employees, just like Jennifer was saying, Target looking at their cashiers and going, hey guys, can you guys give up $10 an hour? Because we're feeling it. That's not fair. And the power hierarchy when it comes to supervisors, I mean, we've had cases where, that we've done consultation and also, of course, on the internet, where we've got the boss who's also the supervisor, and then in some cases holds the visa for the person who's working for them, who's working to get their citizenship. I mean, think about that level of power. If you then, as a business owner, look at your employee and say, hey, you're going to have to hold off on your paycheck for a couple of weeks. I mean, how's that going to affect the supervision relationship, the employee relationship? And what do you think is going to happen when that person's able to finally leave your practice?
It's like an abusive relationship.
It really is.
I mean, and I think that's when you know the sign of a truly good supervisor is when they are aware. And I don't mean just, oh, I'm aware of its existence. When they truly understand the power imbalance that exists, and they maintain mindfulness, not just at the beginning, not just 3 months out of the year, but every day they take that into consideration. And if you have made it to where your associate has no recourse to even bring a concern to you, then I'm kind of at a loss for words.
Yeah. And when we teach the 40-hour training to become a supervisor in Texas for LPC, LMFT, and social work, that is one of the things we really, really try to pound is if you are going to be a business owner, first of all, bless you. You're a special breed. We want to support you. And if you want to be a business owner and a supervisor, here are the 10 extra steps you need to take so that you can preserve that relationship. So there's still openness and honesty, and everybody feels good at the end, and you're still colleagues, right? You're still going to be friends after the thing's over, after the hours are fulfilled.
Well, and
Yeah.
I'll just add one more thing on that.
No.
If you are trying to build and scale a thriving group practice, and you're also trying to build and scale a thriving supervisory, practice,
Mhm.
um, there is no better marketing than an associate that went through with you and is out there saying, I had the best supervisor ever. I was paid well. I was taken care of. I was supported. If I had an issue, I could come to that person. You'll stay full. You'll have associates knocking down your door, but I guarantee you, if you don't take care of your associate, they're going to tell everybody with a set of ears how awful you were. That,
Absolutely.
that's a great way to just make sure you either have a bunch or you have none.
Absolutely. So pay, and remember, I'm not saying pay well. I mean, granted, please don't pay your highly qualified people, $30 an hour. So pay competitively, pay consistently, pay transparently, and don't try to pass on your problems to your employees or your 1099 contractors. And if you are going to take it to the next level and be a group practice, do it the right way. Start with the volume you have and what you can market. And as your practice grows, then you can grow. And then start to shower those employees with good things, offer them benefits, make them W-2, help them save for retirement. Don't be another thing in their life that they have to worry about. I mean, you've been on jobs where you have to worry about your boss. Don't be that boss. Be the boss that's going to grow ethically and in a way that helps your employees do the best work. And the resources out there, right? I mean, there's the small business development, which is practically in every town, the chambers of commerce. You can get free business help besides this podcast, which I'm so glad you're here. But there's so many places you can get free business help. I told Jennifer one of the things I was going to make sure I mentioned, when I was coming up in business, one of the things I loved to do was to take people out for coffee and pick their brain who weren't counselors but owned businesses. So, hair salon owner, massage owner, like a massage envy, right? It's the same model. You've got people, they're either delivering services or they just got no showed, or they're filling out paperwork and not delivering services, or they're maybe at the front desk. How do you do that business? I mean, it can't be a mystery. We're not the only ones doing it. So ask questions, ask how other people are doing it. And you won't be able to do it exactly because we have a medical model, so it's going to be a little bit different. But man, there are tons of similarities. You don't have to reinvent the wheel.
No, and you haven't done one in a while, I don't think, but you have tons of really great podcasts on how to scale a group practice, how to scale private practice. All of those things you've been talking about for years. So there's podcasts on how to scale appropriately and ethically and at the right time. So,
Hey, we'll probably link to those in our show notes and in the blog. So go down there, look at the link, see what we link to, go there. And I have some amazing colleagues here in Texas that are running group practices ethically, profitably. They are assets to their communities. They do advocacy work. They're just amazing human beings. I'm honored to know them. And so I will work really hard to get them to be guests on the podcast, and we will pick their brains so that you, amazing business owner who wants to grow your practice and improve your community, can do the things you need to do and not worry about, are you, I don't want to say, let me just say, making your employees mad, or worry that you don't have the ethical business practices in place, because I know you want to do a good job. Anything you want to add to that, Jennifer?
yeah, it was great.
All right. That's it. That's it for today. Thanks for listening, watching, and we'll see you. If this episode helped you see group practice in a new light, hit like, tap subscribe, and grab your free guide at katewalkertraining.com/free guide. Build smarter, be better, and keep your people.